All right, so the brand new This Week at Bungie or TWAB is out, and it's got a lot of huge changes and some details about a community event that is coming in next week. So we're here to talk about it. Hey, I'm LittleBobby here with 5/9 Gaming Direct, and we're going to let you know what's going on with Destiny 2 in terms of PvP changes and the community event that's upcoming. But before we get into that, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new here, hit that like button if you enjoy this video, comment down below, let us know what you're thinking about these PvP changes in this community event. And if you don't like this video, make sure to leave a dislike and let us know in the comment section what exactly we could do better for next time. So we're not going to go through everything with this TWAB, just so you guys know it's about 6,000 words long, and we've got some Pokemon footage to cover later here tonight. So we're going to go through like the rundown, the gist of everything that Bungie has talked about in this TWAB. First, they mentioned that it's Trans Awareness Week. There are a lot of trans employees at Bungie, and we have trans friends here at 5/9. We love them, and if you do too and you want to show your support, there's going to be a code for you to redeem the Be True emblem. It is a gorgeous emblem, and it really shows solidarity among the community if you do support trans awareness. That code should be on the screen now, and you can go to the bungie.net website, log in with your Destiny information, and redeem it on your account to grab that emblem. Next, there's going to be a community event involving the Eliksni, right? The Fallen. Bungie says that Spider has a sweet spot, but Misrax and the rest of the crew kind of don't, so we're going to be helping them by getting Captain's Coins. You're going to get Captain's Coins by doing the Kingsfall Raid, Dares of Eternity, Strikes, Crucible, Gambit, as well as these seasonal activities, the Catch Crash, Expedition, and Lost Sectors, Destination Chest, public events as well. What you're going to do is you're going to go through, do all these activities, and then make sure you head to the Eliksni Quarter so that you can donate those, and each player is going to have their own individual rewards track. In the past, Bungie has also had like big rewards at the community completed things, but they make it sound more like it's going to be for each individual person. But you should be able to get an emblem, upgrade materials, and a brand new ghost shell when you reach your personal milestones. If there is a community donation reward for the community donating a total altogether, Bungie is holding that close to their chest right now. So get on it and make sure you at least get your personal rewards. And if you want to see that number on your emblem go up and kind of display that with pride, do that as well. Bungie also made some changes to the Scallywag title. This is something that it was kind of a thorn in the side of many players. Personally, I was actually thinking this is going to be the first season I don't finish a seasonal title, I think, ever, because the requirements were ridiculous, and I've been kind of burned down on the game myself lately. I've been playing other stuff and just kind of having fun with that. But the fact that I logged in today just to kind of check this out, I now have everything except for the seasonal story quest done. So that's going to be a big plus for you. If you did a lot of the things like kill ruffians, they dropped that from 50 to 10. The vendor upgrades down from 23 to 14. The first mates, summoning them 1 each. And then the seal requirements 8 out of 9. So if you were kind of far along, but you were like, I'm not going to finish this, you might want to log in and check it out. Me, all I have to do now is do one more expedition and then do my weekly story to get the last pirate captain, and I think I should have the seal. That's a great change in my opinion, because Bungie really had a lot of grinding this season, and it felt just so like unrewarding, like they were just trying to make us log in and play so much. And I think that's kind of the reason why I got burnt out. It's like I don't want to sit here and just farm this endlessly for no reason other than a seal. It doesn't bug me that much, but it is nice now seeing that they kind of relax those requirements. But moving right along from that, there are some really huge changes coming to PvP. I think this is going to be good for the PvP players, but there are going to be some things we'll talk about at the end because I think they could be doing a little more. But let's go through what's going on right now. First thing that I see that's notable is collapsing Control and Clash into a single quick play playlist. One of the things that I really like in Destiny is just playing quick play. I don't really play comp. I don't really play trials very much. Maybe once a season I'll try and go flawless. Maybe twice if it's like a piece of loot that I really want that I didn't happen to get before. But man, do I love me the chaos of 6v6. And playing Control all the time is just not super fun. Sometimes I want to play Clash and it's not there in the rotating playlist, so I can't really play it, and I just get bored playing Control all the time. So I think this is going to be a really good way to breathe a little bit of new life into the quick play playlist. They also say they're going to be bringing some of the lesser played game modes into weekly rotators. I think that'll be nice. Again, more variety in the Crucible is what people need, and that's a big part of what keeps people who play PvP engaged. There's also going to be a new Crucible seal with a new set of requirements for you to get that title, kind of like Unbroken used to have its requirements. Now that has been retired or is being retired, and we're going to see a whole new seal for Crucible players. But Bungie does say in Season 19 they're also bringing Crucible Engram focusing to Lord Shaxx, which is great if you're a Crucible player and you're always trying to hunt for a particular weapon, but you get the roles of other weapons that you're not really interested in. You're going to be able to sync Crucible engrams right into Lord Shaxx with some Glimmer and some legendary shards to focus the weapons and armor that you might want. They did say that this year's armor, the Exodal armor, is going to be what happens in Season 19, but in Lightfall there's going to be work put towards bringing back older Crucible armor and weapons that might have been retired, possibly. Maybe this is how they're going to reissue some weapons. Personally, I would love to see if they kind of rotated out a set of weapons from every year, like every season, maybe change the perks up every once in a while, and obviously bring some of those Foundry perks that they were talking about expanding on in Lightfall to those weapons. They also mentioned that in Season 19, Iron Banner is getting a new mode and a legacy armor set that Veteran Guardians should recognize. This is the armor set that came out in the Taken King, and this is one of the most beloved armor sets that has ever been around for Iron Banner. Personally, I love this, and I know tons of people who always said, man, I wish that Taken King set would be brought back. This is one of the most iconic sets of armor for Iron Banner that Destiny has ever had, and I'm personally excited about this coming back. Personally, this season, once I got my seal gilded for the second time, the Iron Lord seal, I didn't really get into Iron Banner. I have rolls of everything that I could possibly want. I don't need the new perks. It's not going to make it that much better for me, but I will tell you, I'll at least go long enough and do enough bounties and ADA bounties as well to get the transmog materials to do a set of this armor for every character, because it's one of the best, in my opinion, cosmetic looks that we've ever had in the franchise. Bungie then goes on to say that they're also going to be tuning the skill connection and team size experience for Crucible, starting with quick play. They're also going to be tuning quitter suspension parameters for quick play. I really think having quitter penalties in quick play in the first place is really ridiculous. That's just me personally, and I know a lot of people have said that. Sometimes I just gotta go do something, or I gotta step away because I need to do something around the house, or my cat is getting into trouble, right? So sometimes I gotta step away from a match, and if I go and come back and I've been kicked for an activity, then I'm suspended for 30 minutes, which is kind of silly. They also say they're trying to balance the matchmaking techniques in trials to provide a better experience for solo and duo fire teams without the need for freelance. And this sounds like to me they're trying to do fire team size matchmaking, which I'm all for. Once they added skill-based matchmaking into quick play, you basically, if you're in the higher end of the skill brackets, you run into teams of 3, 4, 5, and 6 all the time. And that's really, even if you're evenly balanced in skill, those teams of 3 or more having a communication advantage, they're gonna win like 9 out of 10 times. So if I'm in like a solo game, make sure the teams are balanced. Like, give me a team of 3 if the other team has a team of 3. So many times I've been in where 2 teams of 3 are against me and 5 other solos, and I don't understand that. So hopefully they're getting something done about that. They do also say that they are bringing more maps to Crucible over the next year. 2 maps are returning from earlier years in Destiny 2, and a brand new map is being added during the year of Lightfall. The last map they added, I don't even remember the name of it just because I don't really like it. It's a really big one that they added for Rift, and it's really not very fun to play in any other mode. It works for Rift because it's so big and it gives you so many lanes to kind of cut through and do things, but outside of that, like a 6v6, like this would be an okay map if the matches were like 8v8. Otherwise, it's a lot of just like spawning way in the back, having to run kind of towards the middle, and then if you die, you got to spawn all the way in the back again. And then you get people who hang out way in the back with a scout rifle on the outside trying to pick people off, or you get people who hang out in the little tunnels with their shotguns. Like, it's such a really awkward, uncomfortable map. I really hope they bring back some really great ones from earlier Destiny 2. Retribution being the first one that comes to mind for me. I absolutely love that map. I felt like the longest lanes on that were like perfect for Destiny 2, and they weren't really like, hey, let's just sit back with a scout rifle, pulse rifle. You could use basically any guns on that map and do okay if you played the map right. I'm hoping that one comes back, and I hope the brand new map is something that isn't quite a stretched out long range mess. As much as, you know, we do need some of those long range maps, the way Bungie designs them leaves a little bit to be desired. There's also going to be a brand new competitive mode added to Destiny 2. Bungie is doing away with the comp system that we've had for what, 4.5 years now, and they're going to be making a new 3v3 mode for ranked play called Competitive Division. Just like the current Glory playlist, this ranked playlist will feature skill-based matchmaking, so if you're not a fan of that and you just don't want to deal with it in Destiny 2, then you might want to avoid the new ranked play. But if you already played the Glory playlist, you kind of know the deal. They also mentioned that Crucible Labs is going to be ongoing, and during Season 19 is going to have a 3v3 Rift with asymmetric maps playlist. The Crucible Labs will have a 25% reputation booster, so if you're trying to really get those Crucible rep ranks out of the way, go ahead and head into that. Do it with some friends and see if you can win in that 3v3 Rift. I'm somewhat interested as Rift has always been played on symmetrical maps, so playing with asymmetrical maps, we're going to see whether or not that's a good idea. I could see it being fun and I could see it being not fun, just depending on the map. They also mentioned that Elimination Rumble and private matches, of course, will always be available, so you can always practice for Trials of Osiris in Elimination, or if you just want to test out your skills against friends, you can do a private match, or if you just want to play solo versus 5 other people, you can go right into Rumble. They go on to talk about the Crucible engram system. They mentioned that you will not have to hold or claim the engrams, which I think is great. The engram space in our inventory is already cluttered enough. I always am full on engrams and I'm always having to run back to the tower. If I play the game for about 2 hours, my Umbral engram and Prime engram drops fill up that inventory and I have to run back to the tower and decrypt it, or decrypt it at the helm, which is kind of a pain to have to do that every few hours. So anything that alleviates that is great. They go on to mention that the Clutch X-Stall set will be available during Season 19. That's a set that's currently available for Crucible armor, and the weapons that will be available are Stars and Shadow Pulse Rifle, the Keating Sidearm, Frozen Orbit Sniper Rifle, Survivor's Epitaph Hand Cannon, Sorrow's Verse Auto Rifle, Crisis Inverted Hand Cannon, Riptide Fusion Rifle, and Out of Bounds Submachine Gun. They also go on to clarify that brand new Crucible weapons are available only as drops during their introductory season, but after their first initial season, they will be available for focusing. So if you play a ton of Crucible and you do not get the drop that you want of a specific weapon, at the start of the next season, you'll be able to focus specifically for that weapon and get all the other drops out of the way that you might get. They also add that the Kill Tracker Ghost is going to be taken out of Shaq's inventory if you have already acquired it, and it can be reacquired from collections. So if you want that and you have got it already, but you want to claim it from Shaq's for whatever reason, it's going to be in your collections instead, and Shaq's will no longer have it in Season 19. Really hoping that they end up adding focusing to Vanguard and Gambit as well. I would love that because those playlists are really hard to get the weapons that you want to drop, and having focusing in every core playlist I think is a way that they can keep those kind of in people's sights going forward. They talk about Iron Banner in Season 19, and they mentioned it earlier that it's going to be a new mode, but it's going to be called Iron Banner Fortress. And in Fortress, the core gameplay is capturing and holding zones just like Control, but it looks like it's going to be more like Zone Control. And they show a picture of a Guardian facing off with some Cabal turrets. So I'm wondering if there's going to be some kind of thing where after you've captured a zone, those turrets are going to defend against your enemies coming in for you. I think that would be a lot of fun personally. But a lot of PvP purists are probably going to be upset about that. We'll have to see how it plays out once Iron Banner Fortress goes live in Season 19. But then they also go on to talk about Fireteam-based matchmaking, which is something I said months ago that they should have done before they even implemented skill-based matchmaking. Fire-based matchmaking sounds great to me. What they're going to try and do is try and find, people who are in teams of 6 or 6-stack, as they're known. They're going to try and make sure that those people are matched against other teams of 6. And Overwatch used to do this, and I thought it was great. If I was playing solo, it would be very rare that I would find a team of 2 or more even when I was playing solo in Overwatch, and I think that's fine. Having a team of 2 is one thing, but once you get into that 3, 4, 5, or 6, like I mentioned earlier, kind of shifts the game towards that team winning if there aren't another team of equal size on the opposite team. They also say that they're trying to improve connection at the high end of skill-based matchmaking, because a lot of high-tier players talk about how connections are so bad and things like that, and I believe it. I used to be there when I was younger. Now I haven't noticed it as much with this skill-based matchmaking, at least not really having more connection problems than were usual in Destiny 2, because the game just has some weird connection stuff that happens in PvP sometimes. Part of this goes into one thing that they're calling dynamic skill ranges, and the dynamic skill ranges are going to be kind of allowing for the matchmaking parameters to widen a bit more if you're playing during a low population time or if you're in a low population bracket. So if you're one of the very tippy top players, 0.2% highest skill tier, You're going to have easier opponents if you're playing in a time where not a lot of people are playing in your tier, or if you're really like, top 100 players in the whole game, then you'll probably see much shorter times and have, opponents who are still good, but not quite as good as the ones you might have to face otherwise. They then go into a little more detail about the quitter suspensions. They are lowering the amount of time for a suspension for serial quitting in quick play playlist. Now, me personally, I've gotten like suspended after just leaving my desk for a second because my cat is crying and I'm trying to figure out what's going on, or I get a call or something, and I've been handed out like a 30-minute suspension. So lowering that time, I think, is going to be good. And they're also saying they're going to let you see how much time is left on your suspension. Ideally make it like 5-10 minutes, I guess, if you have to do it. But they do also say that they're going to be monitoring how much quitting happens once they have the fire team-based matchmaking and dynamic skill ranges, because if it works out and they lower the amount of quitting overall, they may remove the quitter penalty in quick play altogether, which I think would be great. Hopefully they can do that. And with Trials of Osiris, they're also going to be adding in a new 140 RPM hand cannon and a new machine gun. Hopefully these are some contenders in the meta, because sometimes these Trials weapons are really, really great, and sometimes they're just, no, they're okay. Then they talk about the maps that they're going to be adding. They're not really giving any details, but they talk about how Eternity and Vostok were two maps that they brought back this year, and Cathedral of Dusk as well. And then they brought back Disjunction. That was the name of the bad map that we were talking about earlier, but that they're definitely planning on bringing back two earlier Destiny 2 maps next year and one brand new map, and that they are trying to find more people to build these maps. So if you're someone who knows how to make a map, apply at Bungie, because we need you there helping to get a decent number of new maps back into the game. Then they move on to the new competitive division. The division is going to have 7 divisions each with 3 subdivisions: Copper, Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, Adept, and Ascendant. This sounds an awful lot like Overwatch. Goal is to provide players with a ladder to climb and divisions to achieve, giving a more accurate representation of skill than our current glory system. And I think that's good. Hopefully we can see that this is a thing that works well enough. Match outcome, whether you win or lose, will determine whether you go up or down. Division inflation or deflation, how far above or below your division is compared to your skill. Match performance, how well you're doing in a match-to-match basis. And player to lobby skill delta. So if you're, a person smurfing on a account that's brand new and you're just stomping noobs, they're gonna really quickly move you up and then get you fighting people your own skill level. If you earn enough ranks to move up between a subdivision, their example Gold 2 to Gold 1, you automatically enter the next subdivision. If you get enough rating to move up a division from Gold 1 to Platinum 3, you enter a promotion series where you must win 2 out of 3 games to be promoted to the next division. I can't see there being any problems with that at all. Similarly, if you lose enough rating to move down a division from, say, Gold 3 to Silver 1, you enter a relegation series where you must win 2 out of the 3 games to remain in your current division. Upon reaching Gold or higher, your division rating is subjected to decay on a weekly basis, i.e. you will lose division rating if you haven't played enough matches recently. This is literally ripped straight from Overwatch, at least from Overwatch 1, I believe. That's exactly how their division worked, except for the winning 2 out of 3. They go on to say that they are going to be very, very careful about giving high performance rewards for achieving higher divisions. A, that encourages a lot of cheating, and B, it's a rich get richer. That's exactly what happened with the Pinnacle Not Forgotten, and that's exactly why they don't do Pinnacle weapons in Crucible anymore, because the really, really good players got the really, really good weapon that killed faster than anything else and could shoot you from across the map at the time, and it was something that was like impossible for the casual players to achieve. They do say that you will get Crucible engrams, resets, and extra perks on weapons much faster. So for Copper and Bronze, you will get a 1x multiplier, Silver 1.1, Gold 1.2, Platinum 1.3, Adept 1.4, and Ascendant 1.5. They mentioned that even if you're not great at Crucible, if you want to hop into competitive division, you will be getting Crucible rewards 10 to 20% faster on average. They also say that they're going to be reducing the weekly bonus Crucible rank multiplier from 2.0 to 1.5 in Season 19. I assume that's because that's going to stack on top of the multiplier. So if you have a 1.5 times a 1.1, what is that, a 1.65 multiplier just for being in the silver tier? So I think that's fair. They also say that about 95% of players should be earning more reputation over the course of a season than what's currently available with the changes. They also note that they moved the unique Glory playlist reward Might Up Multi-Tool Catalyst to a rare drop on any win in the Crucible. So that means if you're like me and you don't really play Glory all that much, the Might Up Multi-Tool Catalyst should now be within your grasp. I actually got it like last year, I think, and you know, it's been in the Glory playlist for like 3 years. I just happen to have some friends who are like, hey, let's play Glory, and I was like, you know what, let's play, why not? They also say that you're going to be able to get a real competitive ranking from Bungie, which lets you know where you actually sit in the hierarchy of players better than KDA, win percentage, or third-party ELO ranking ever could. I do agree with that. The KDA thing, a lot of people will just sit in the back with a scout rifle, pick at people, and with like, you know, a 10.0 KD because they don't ever put themselves in any danger. Win percentage also affected by like team size, and third-party ELO, they have no idea really what Bungie uses to determine how good you are at the game. So this, I guess, is a good thing for people who really have that competitive spirit and want to see where they stack. Bungie's also stated they're bringing back Rose, which is the original hand cannon that Thorn was based on in the lore. The guy who made Thorn originally had the Rose, it got corrupted and became the Thorn. We later purified a Rose and it became the Lumina, and so this weapon has been in the game for a while. It was actually one of my favorite weapons in the game when it was originally released, and I'm super hyped to see this coming back. They say it's going to be a hybrid, fires like a 140 but allows you to move like a 150, so that means it's going to give you the lightweight buff that used to exist on the now retired 150 hand cannon archetype. So I think that's going to be a really great thing. Random rolled grits instead of an origin trait, which I think is also good. So this thing is going to have some new traits. You'll be able to earn 1 roll per character per week just by playing competitive division. Personally, I don't really care for competitive, but if I can get a Rose roll every week, I will play a match or two. If they say, hey, you got to play 10 matches to get one, I will probably sit it out. As much as I love that gun, I can just take the one I have in my vault out and use it anytime in any non-serious content. Bungie also mentions that after Lightfall releases, they're going to be giving further cosmetic rewards for competitive division, and if they do that, then maybe I'll find some friends to play with and try to start earning some of the lower ones. Obviously, I'm not the best PvP player in the world. That's why I play quick play. It's fun, it's hectic, you can kind of get lost in the crowd and get as many kills as you can. The whole making callouts thing is not really for me. I just like getting lost in the hectic mess that is 6v6, but if there's some really cool cosmetics that you can get and I don't have to get all the way to like top 100 to get them, maybe I'll try out for them. But that's basically it for the Crucible update TWAB that happened this week at Bungie. I know that I, for one, am excited to have like fire team based matchmaking and that some changes are coming, like having Control and Clash in the same core playlist. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. The competitive division, I don't really care too much. It's like Trials, I don't really care, but if there's some cool stuff that I can get in there and I don't have to play it too much to get something that's like at least fun to have, then maybe I'll hop in with some friends or something and try it out. Otherwise, for me, like, this isn't going to change it. What's going to really change Crucible is things like reining things in quicker, making adjustments, and keeping like skill-based matchmaking on while also keeping like fire team-based matchmaking on. I think fire team-based matchmaking is the thing that has me most excited, because now when I log in, I'm not going to have to play against a team of 6 players, a team of 4 players on the enemy team every time. And I promise you, 9 out of 10 times, those people are not on my team. And if they are on my team, it usually means, and I mean this with all due respect, that they're not the best, and like Bungie is expecting me to carry this group of 4, even though I'm not the best, right? So I just don't get how their like algorithm and stuff works. But overall, these look like they're going to be some good things for those people who really do enjoy the competitive side of Crucible. Basically an Overwatch-like system that you'll be able to kind of really determine your rank on and get some rewards. I will play for Rose as long as it's a reasonable number of matches that I have to play. I would say at most I would play 3 to 5 a week. If I could just play 1, that'd be great, because I don't really care too much, again, like I said, about a rank. I just want to have some fun, but I do love that gun, and if it's not too much of a slog to get it, I'll hop in and get it. But what do you think about all these changes, and what do you think about the community event that's coming to Destiny 2 next week? Are you excited? Season 19 is just a few weeks away, so we should be seeing these changes coming in, and it's gonna stir some things up, and I guarantee you we're gonna see a lot of people who are gonna love this and a lot of people who are not. But let us know what you think down in the comments below. Again, I'm LittleBobby here with 59 Gaming Direct. This is the Destiny 2 update to the Crucible that's happening in Season 19 and beyond. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we hope to see you soon.